Hey there, love to see you again. Today I have a heavy topic, kind of a strategic one, um, because the market is a big ocean and there are lots of players. Big whales, angry shark with rows of teeth, little fishes, baby seals, surfers. So, if you are a retail investor, right? If you have 10, 30, 50K in the market, maybe you've been investing for a year, two, three, it's definitely a rough place, right? Because obviously, as a retail investor, individual with obligations, job, family, or whatever comes, right? You don't have 40, 50, 60 hours per week to really dive deep into the market, watch the stock movement, what the global economy is on a daily basis, right? You have to be smart about the way you invest, right? Because in a sense, investing is simple but not easy, and you have to understand how the market works overall in order to be able to beat it. And I firmly believe that individual investors that only have those couple hours on the weekend and over few evenings can outperform the market, but they have to be strategic and they have to make the right decision. They have to understand the basics and have solid fundamentals, right? And one of the main strategic points I have decided basically a long time ago, and I was basically taught and followed some of the successful investors, right? And their strategies. Mainly, of course, the goat himself, Warren Buffett, but also many people here on YouTube who kind of started this whole investing game. Um, uh, they they have some simple principles, right? First and foremost, you want to be a long-term investor, right? And the reason for this is probably, I would say, twofold. uh, I was actually having a conversation with one of my friends who is a money manager for like a wealthy client, high net worth individuals, and one of the typical questions that you as a money manager would ask potential clients is their risk tolerance, right? And usually the people would tell you that they are comfortable with maybe their portfolio dropping like 15-20% per quarter. They kind of rationally heard the stories about the market, right? Corrections, crashes, and they kind of their brain thinks that okay, this is fine, right? They're rational part of the brain. uh, but what that friend actually told me is that the same people, when they actually experience and see their portfolio dropping 5 to 10%, they already start calling and almost wanting to get out and the pain rather than pull through. So it's very different experience, uh, being knowing what your risk tolerance is and actually experiencing it. And you can also act differently, once you reach different levels. Maybe when you have 10K in the market and your portfolio drops to 8K, 7K, maybe it doesn't feel as much of a big deal. But then maybe over a couple of years you manage to get to a portfolio that's like 100K, and you suddenly see it to drop to 80K. And maybe that's suddenly a different ball game, right? That then drop from 10 to 8K. So what you really want to do is to be as cool as a cucumber about this, and you only learn that in a sense by doing an experience, right? You never know how you are going to react to some of this risk tolerance issues, because for many people, individual investors, their portfolio, it's a very important part of their life, considering the security, right? Both for themselves but also for sometimes people around them, for their families, maybe children, right? So it's actually a lot of responsibility on the shoulder of an individual investor. And the way that some of those big players and professional money managers, and I'm not talking about uh, kids like Gabe Plotkin who get squeezed by apes on GameStop, but I'm talking about the sharp guys. The people that you probably don't hear that much about, but they are able to consistently beat the market. And the reason that they are able to do so is that they are having systems in place, right? There are people, very few of them, but there are people who were able to, hop on Tesla at 70, sell it again at 180, then get in again at like, to 70, 100 again, ride it all the way to 1200, sell it there, buy it back again at 700, and now the Tesla is again over 1,000, right? There is a very small percentage of those, but those people have super intricate systems in place. They are able to really closely monitor, what's kind of the value of the stock, if it's overvalued, undervalued, based on different criteria, taking into account the underlying fundamentals, the market sentiments, the macroeconomy. But that's a really more than a full-time job for more than a team of people. So, and there comes a lot of additional thinking that needs to come into that. So what you actually want to do as an individual investor is to, in a sense, Occam's razor, cut through all this BS and simplify your investing as much as possible, right? Because when you are kind of buying in and selling out of the stock, even though there is this small percentage of people that are able to do that, each of those points when they are buying, selling at different levels, uh, at a different time frame, right? All these different variables are points of potential failure. So if you would like to replicate this as an individual investors, each of like basically if you make mistake in any of these variables, if you buy at the wrong time, wrong price, or wrong valuation, you will get destroyed, right? So what you actually want to do is to, again, simplify it as much as possible, right? You want to bet on one thing and one thing only. You want to buy a quality company that's going to improve over time, grow their revenue, and grow their net income, or get from not being profitable to being profitable. So essentially, as an individual long-term investor, the only thing you want to do is to basically buy the company at this point and approximate this vector of improvement, right? So the only thing you are betting on is that improvement and the angle, in a sense, that which the company is improved. If they are growing at XY rate or XZ rate, and you just buy and you hold it, right? There are many quality companies, if you bought them 5 years ago, you did well. And doesn't matter if it's, you could go to extremes like Tesla, then you obviously did a freaking amazing. But it could have been something much simpler, Costco, Home Depot, could have been Domino's Pizza, could have been Crocs. There are so many companies that simply improved over those last 5 years because of the fact that, okay, they are great businesses, they are profitable, there are employees making products or providing services, and the value is being created over that period of time, right? And by doing that, you are able to basically swim with the tide, right? Just being in the ocean and seeing it rise and rising with it. That's basically my whole message, right? Really, the best thing you can do as an individual investor is to buy quality business that you are confident with holding for a long period of time, by doing the research, looking into the company, making sure that their business model is safe and sound, making sure that the financials is okay, and making sure that you are paying a good price for it. And as long as you will do just that, you're going to do just fine. Just trust me, right? And you can do all of this just, quote unquote, just by putting in those, I would say 10 hours per week, maybe, but doing it consistently, right? Investing every month and learning a little bit about market and business every month. Simple as that, not easy to execute. But if you will do so, you are, well, amazing, and I truly appreciate you. If you would like more of this high level thinking content, let me know in the comments, and let's make sure we all have an abundance.